Alright, it is 9:53. In terms of setups, I'll go over the setups that I did not get into, but I was interested in that. At least I put an order to buy, but I didn't get filled on either. ILUS looks like a morning panic bounce play. I considered it at 9:39, which was right here. And I did place the order at 226. I just didn't get filled, so that's totally fine. It did get to 23. At the ask, the bid 227, almost 228. So I wouldn't have been up that much unless this thing decides to make a move above VWAP. If I were to still be holding it, it just didn't, allow me to get in when I place an order, which is fine. And the other one, HMBL, was one that I was interested in, although this one I actually went with a $5 risk level because of how much sketchier it is. The daily chart is really bad, but in theory it could have been like some kind of reversal after I had this downtrend. It broke it right here, it uptrended, right, it's consolidating, and then it got near the bottom at 2313. I also liked how at the time there was a big wall of bidders at, I think it was 2301. Yeah, there was some at 2301, and then below that was 23. Somebody even dumped, I believe, 400,000 shares, something huge. Maybe it was, let's see how much it was. Alright, it looks like maybe almost 300,000 shares. And yeah, so it held 23. It showed that it was strong. I placed an order at 2313 at 9:44 right here, 2313. I just didn't get executed here either. It did uptrend. I mean, 2313 right now. I guess 23.5 is at the not the ask, but at the bid. It's just not really that well, because of how shaky it looked. So that was the case with that. And in terms of other setups, this is the one I wanted to be in since yesterday. I do have a stop. This is something I want to hold for a longer period of time, but I am in at MTTR at an average of 902, 947 right here. I do have a stop at 880. If it were to break this level, it can totally do that. I mean, if the overall markets with SPY just keeps looking horrible, I might even consider getting out early for a profit. But the thing is that this one is like LWLG. It just broke a trend line, and now it might try to do a reversal over a longer period of time. Ideally, I like to hold it for a while. You can see LWLG is very similar. I've said I think MTTR is nicer. I might sell a piece here, but ideally we can get like a higher low, from here, and they can continue the uptrend. Alright, it is 10:07, maybe famous last words, but this might sound dumb, but I've never been in a situation where, just thinking about it now, where I'm in a setup and it actually puts up a higher low for my entry. I've literally, my whole trading career, have never really been in that kind of situation. Again, when I'm in a trade, it uptrends, it puts up a higher low, and I'm still holding on to it. I literally had to walk out of my room because I saw this trend line broken. Right, I would have, in theory, have sold in the 19s already, but I was like, this is a long-term setup. Trend line, it breaks it, right? I guess we'll draw it, since unlike TD Immediate Trade, I know how to draw a trend line rather easily. I'd say somewhere around here. It's not perfect. Just in theory, it's broken this downtrending trend line, and now it had a bit of a uptrend, and I never wanted to buy it yesterday because the thing just shot up. Not yesterday, I think the day before. Yeah, it just shot up like crazy, so I never wanted to be in it. But then today, when it's below EMA 4, right, and then we had like a morning panic, big volume sell off, I was in it right here. That's when I went long, and now we have a higher low. I moved my stop after the last video to 903, which is my entry. So if it were to fail, excuse me, I wouldn't lose money because that would just be too much, if you ask me. So at this point, I'm probably going to move my stop to maybe 907 or maybe 910, and then just keep going from here. not have the best sell, but at least, you know, like technical analysis me with the trend line would have sold already, and then, you know, at least it got to the 930s. At least it's trying to. It's in the high 920. So I'm gonna move my stop higher. If it breaks that, too bad. But yeah, I'm just gonna do that, I think, and we'll see if we can go from there. Okay, it is 2:56 p.m. and it's been a while since the last recording, and I feel like I need to be just more aggressive. Some of the setups weren't extremely perfect, but I think if I was more aggressive, actively looking at the charts more, I would have been able to have taken a few more trades that actually were kind of nice. Right here, my, you know, famous last words. Yeah, this thing downtrended. It failed the trend line right here around 916, where I would have sold everything if I was just looking at it as a day trade. But I wanted it to be some kind of a swing trade. In fact, the account I purchased this with was not here on my day trader account, but it was actually on my swing trader account, and I need to make sure that I do not break the PDT on this. I can't check. It's not a thing with Schwab that they tell you how many you know, day trades are available. In theory, maybe I only have one left because I sold twice, and then if I were to sell another, you know, trade twice, I would break it. So I'll probably just stick to the rest of my trades on my other accounts, and yeah, so it did break my stop at 910. I'm happy that I moved it up. When it was trying to hold itself right around my original entry right here, I was thinking, like, is it gonna actually hold this level? And then I'm gonna be salty because it broke my stop that I raised to that 910, that you know, that 910 level, and then it gets to, you know, my entry point, and then it reverses, and then it continued to downtrend. And then I thought, all right, well, my first stop was at, okay, I had one stop at 824, which would have been crazy. It never got there, but then I had it at 880 a few times, and it did look like it was trying to hold it. You know, I don't remember exactly why did I choose 880. Maybe because it was just slightly lower than this range, but it did break that level. I'm glad I sold when I did, and this offered an inverse head and shoulders right here. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Not a bad time frame for the 11 a.m. reversal. Again, shoulder, head, shoulder. I could have taken this. This would have been nice. 870 to 892. I guess not that much range because it is, you know, a higher priced stock. And then it did offer a second higher low. In theory, shoulder, head, shoulder, second higher low, or you can call this the second higher low. It was the same thing. It never got to VWAP, but that was an opportunity there. And XELA also offered an inverse head and shoulders and a head and shoulders. I saw this. I would have been short this if I had funds in the short selling account. I'm transitioning from Schwab to Trade Zero because every freaking listed stock that I've wanted to short, from BBIG, RETO, and so many others, I'm just not able to short on Schwab. And then I had that Interactive Brokers account, you know, so I went from Schwab to Interactive Brokers, and the same case with Interactive Brokers. It just seemed like they didn't have any shares available to short. So now it's gonna be Trade Zero. I'm gonna have Trade Zero with a amount of money in it, so I can consider short selling listed stocks, which is starting to happen a little more, especially because OTCs haven't been that nice. But this was a nice head and shoulders here. I would have been interested in shorting it. It did offer a move from the 92 to the 87 level rather easily, and then it did do an inverse head and shoulders here, also playing off of VWAP, which is nice. Shoulder, head, shoulder, 88 to 91, and I was actually very close. I don't think I have it saved anymore. 89.16 was not my original idea, but there was a point where I could have been in at 88.6. I didn't do it. I hesitated for the inverse head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, second higher low, because it wasn't a higher low. It was a double bottom in theory from that right shoulder, so I never took it. Although it did offer a tiny move, it didn't really do much. You can call this the inverse head and shoulders too. Shoulder head, maybe here a shoulder, and then this one did actually get above VWAP, 88 to 92. So I feel like I can be much more aggressive with these. As for the other ones, yeah, nothing with LWLG. HMBL did do like a higher low, but I didn't like how liquid it was. And nothing with ILUS besides the initial interest I had, and I didn't get filled there. So that's about it for right now. I'll make one more recap when the markets are closed. I'll make it short. That's all I have for right now. There's nothing that I'm interested in trading at the moment. Okay, it is 5:47. I'm here to call it off, and I'll make it quick since I think the one I made at 3 o'clock pretty much summarized today. I feel like I should be more aggressive. I made $5.05 trading MTTR, the best that I could. I want to be in that situation more because that felt so nice when I was in a setup. I didn't sell immediately, and I let it actually do a higher low. And unfortunately, this one just failed right after the higher low. It broke it, and then it, even broke the day low. It just kept downtrending. But I want to be a part of something like that more. I want to take advantage of stuff like this. Inverse head and shoulders, XELA was another very similar example. And there was even this one that I hesitated with. I don't mind hesitating it too much, but I've seen Tim Sykes trade this a lot. A stock that just uptrends, spikes in the morning, and then it has like a little downtrend, and then it keeps going. This was actually a setup that I could have bought at 138, and it did get to 156, maybe a sell into the 1.4s, the 14 level, but I was just kind of iffy with this one because it didn't like downtrend towards the VWAP. It just kind of had a random downtrend, and my fear was that it would just keep going. But I guess in something like that, I could have traded a small size. So I just feel like I should be more aggressive in setups like that. Again, I'll probably stay away from options. Maybe it can be something I can try again later. I just don't necessarily want to right now, especially now that there seems to be more setups going on, even if they're not morning panic bounce plays. That's all I have. I'm going to call it off. Yeah, I just need to get more aggressive.